What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. We feeling good. This is the barbershop right here, man. We got to chop it up. We got to talk about these coaching firings, man. I feel that in my spirit already. We got to get in that first. But before we get into that, how are you doing today, Mr. Reid?
Hey, man, it's a Friday. That disaster of a season is over with. I'm all good in the hood.
hey, that's what Josh Stewart said. Josh Stewart said TGIF. Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, man.
Yes, I'm feeling it, man.
Yeah, we need to have some music in the background and celebrate.
Oh, I know, right? Hey, but not on live because they love to hit you with copyrights. It got to be royalty-free music, man. You know how they do. You know, if they think you're making just a little dime off of there, they're like, nope, shut it down. No, sir, you can't use that. I'm sorry. The dude had 10 seconds of a song in the background of his, and they shut his whole thing down. They was like, nah, you got to take that out if you want to put it back up.
The world we live in, man. You know, the old music I like, man. They probably wouldn't even say nothing, man. They're like, who? Who's in?
Yeah.
But so, you gotta follow the laws, man. I understand.
Yeah, man. So, man, let's get in on these this coaching firings, which the only ones that surprised me, of course, was Brian Flores and David Culley. Those only ones surprised me. Matt Nagy being gone, I was like, man, it's been time for that. Didn't Joe Judge got fired too, right? For the Giants.
Yeah, he got fired.
Yeah, he got fired. So. Those only two surprising ones was Culley and Flores. But now stories come out about Flores and what was going on, and pretty much that it was a feud between him and Tua. And if you're an organization, you're going to pick the franchise quarterback over the coach. I mean, it's just what it is. Especially if you think this Tua is the guy. The Dolphins must think that Tua is the guy, because if they didn't think he was the guy, they would remove Tua and not Flores. But Flores seemed to have some enemies in the building because they say, for the lack of a better word, he's not a kiss ass, they say. He's there to not necessarily be a friend. He's there to be a football coach and to build a football team. So he might have rubbed some people in the building the wrong way.
But you know what, Brandon? No, I don't want to interrupt you, man. But
go ahead.
What upsets me about all this stuff is, man, you knew what you was getting when you hired him from New England. When he was, he's not a personality guy. And, it's just amazing to me sometimes where you have all these rumors come out after the fact, If he had a tough relationship with Tua, then maybe somebody in the organization should have, hashed it out or something, I mean, I think Tua would have had a hard relationship with any head coach when he's heard the whole year that Deshaun Watson was going to end up in Miami. I mean, it's just like, I hate to say that sometimes that race plays a part, but we know that a lot of times it dictates a lot of things, and, just like in Houston, they mandated for him, Culley to like he has to fire assistants. It's like if you don't fire them, then you don't have a job. And I'm like, we go. Both of these two black coaches are gone. The only black coach remaining in the NFL right now is Mike Tomlin, just like it was 3 years ago. And I'm just tired of all these excuses and there's a standard set that's higher. There's, he didn't get along with anybody in the organization. Well, okay, so you're going to tell me that if Miami would have made the playoffs then in one of those 3 years, would it matter? No, it wouldn't have mattered. But it's just a bunch of excuses all the time. It's like, come on, man. Well, he didn't have a good relationship with Tua. Well, maybe that might have was what. How we know that was the head coach's fault?
How do we know?
Yeah. I can look at the guy on the sideline. He ain't gonna He's not a guy that's going brown nose. He's not a guy that's just going to be a conversational piece. He's a football coach. He's been that way since he got there. So all of a sudden, since he's not this outgoing personality who gets along and say good morning to everybody inside the facility, then we got to get rid of. We got to change the culture. We got to get a head coach who talks and get along with everybody. It's always something. It's just always something to. Oh well, we got to get rid of them because of this. Oh, we got to get rid of. I think they made a mistake. I really do. I thought the Dolphins was moving in the right direction. 2 straight winning seasons. Hey, AFC is a tough conference to make it to the playoffs. But when a guy finished the season going 8-1, after losing to the Jaguars and turn the whole franchise around, players play hard for him, even the quarterback who supposedly did get along with him, then what more can the guy do? I mean, what more could he have done? Especially the final 2 months of the season.
Oh yeah, Kenny. Man. Yeah, Kenny still said that. He said, I don't know about all the other stuff they talk about. He said, but Brian Flores is a good coach. And you're right. Him winning 8 straight games after going 1-7. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, man. Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. So I don't understand.
I'm shocked too. I'm shocked by that firing. Yeah. Nobody saw that firing coming. There was no rumors during the season that there's dissension or he doesn't get along with anybody. Ain't none of that. There was no rumor or anything like that going on during the season. They just all of a sudden they just pull the rug from under them. The guy go and beat New England twice, I might add, and knocking on the door of the playoffs. Knocked on the door of the playoffs last year. And it just, I'm beyond like flabbergasted. I mean, I don't understand what the criteria was for him to get fired. I mean, to be honest, I don't see a whole lot of talent on that Miami Dolphins team. I don't see them the same talent level as the Buffalo Bills or even Baltimore for that matter. I mean, he had the
Patriots. They ain't got the Patriots.
Yeah, reconstruct this defensive line, reconstruct the offensive line. They did a great job with Waddle, but he's a rookie. I mean, I don't see where they got this stockpile of talent, and everybody in the country was expecting them to be a number 2, number 3 seed in the AFC playoffs. And I just don't think there's no reason that he should have been fired, to be honest. I mean, if you're going to judge a coach, I always say this on the show. What you judge a coach on is performance.
Yeah. How do the players play for him?
Exactly. So if he don't get along with one, I mean, there's not going to be a head coach in this league where all 53 players going to like the coach. It's not going to happen.
Nope. No. Yeah. Nobody's going to hold your hand. Randy Shannon had this knock against him as well when he was at Miami. It was like one of their issues with him was he didn't schmooze the boosters and the alumni enough for the upper people. But he's a coach. I know some of that's part of the job, but I'm here to win football games. Yeah, I'm lacking in this area, but that's immaterial. So what? I'm here to coach football games. Come on, man.
That's what I'm talking about, man. We checking the box, and it just seems like a minority coach got to check like this box, that box, got to be this box. Sometimes you might feel uncomfortable being in a room and nobody in the room look like you. Maybe you don't, you just stay within yourself, but you don't have to be judged. It's just in this world, it's 2 words that we can be called. We can be called confident. Or we can be called arrogant. Hey,
Josh Stewart, put the 8 teams in the chat for me, and so I can rank them there because he said, how would you rank them the head coach openings? So list all 8 teams for me in the chat, and then we're gonna look at them and rank them from there. Because he asked me that the other day, and he was talking about the Broncos, and you echoed what I said about the Broncos, which you said something about them I didn't know, which is the management and their issues in management. But I say they're one of the worst situations because they don't have a quarterback yet, and they can't seem to find a quarterback. So it doesn't matter. We talked about it. You got 3 wide receivers, you got a tight, you got 2 backs, you got a decent line, you got a good corner, you got a great safety, you got D linemen, you got linebackers, you got everything there except a quarterback. If you don't get the quarterback right, it's not going to matter.
Only problem I have with Denver, and Denver, bless them, they've been a winning franchise. What they won, about 5 Super Bowls. I mean, I don't lost count, but I think Denver is a franchise that's a little above itself. You know, it's like we expect to be in the Super Bowl when you don't have the talent to be in the Super Bowl. You know, I think and that's, but hey, if you got aspirations and you talk about winning that game, the big game, being the playoffs every year, why have they not gotten a quarterback? To be honest, I mean, they made some mistakes. Drew Lock, you know, I mean, a bad draft pick. You went out in free agency. Hey,
Bridgewater's not the guy.
No, you know, I mean, he basically was a bridge quarterback from the get-go. But you got these Super Bowl aspirations, and management hadn't made all the right decisions on putting them in position to be. Hey, I think you got to start first. You know, it's not the 214, 215 Broncos. So I think you have to set your course on getting in the playoffs first. When the last time they've been in the playoffs?
Right. Yeah, they said they had never had a losing season in 45 years. And in the last 5 years, they've had 5 straight losing seasons. So I understand the frustration. But speaking of Flores, I was thinking that could be a good place for Flores depending on how management was and if they can get them a quarterback. Could you imagine Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson going to Denver along with Flores? That might get ugly.
Yeah. And, you know, John Elway is very respected. He's won the Super Bowl. He had a career where he struggled, you know. Yeah. But the word that I hear, he's a tough guy there. You know, the toughest boss you can have is a boss who don't invite you into the office and say, this is what I expect from you. The toughest boss to have is one that don't let you know nothing. And then over a period of time, he just cut you loose with no reasons.
Sounds like Miami.
That's how Elway runs that franchise. You know,
wow.
You know, he wants to win those Super Bowls. He have the field generals doing the dirty work while he's sitting in the office dictating, I need this done. But he doesn't go on the grass or at practice and tell his player, you need to do this. He have his field generals that do that. And then when it comes time to making we got to make some decisions, then he makes the decisions behind the office with the door closed. You know?
Yeah. I don't think former athletes, as much as I loved them when they were playing, a lot of them have no business being in management as far as teams. As we've seen, a lot of them have no business being in broadcasting because they're terrible, biased, and awful. Talk about it all the time. The more former players talk about current players, the less I want to hear from them. The less I want to hear them talk.
Well, you know what's even worse, though, when you say that, Brandon? The guys who was not media friendly didn't have nothing to do with the media, didn't want to be in front of a camera, didn't want to have no conversation with any media people after practice or before practice. About 80% of the people that's like that are now in front of the cameras and got a job being an announcer.
Yeah.
So go figure.
Yeah, go figure. So I think that Flores, will definitely land on his feet. He became probably the best candidate on the market when Miami cut him. So, which probably tells you that you probably should have worked it out with him, but it is what it is. But one guy who we talked about who may not get another shot is David Culley. And I don't know about you. I don't know what the Texans were expecting from David Culley, but they literally gave this man nothing to work with. And at times, though, you could tell those players in Houston played for David Culley. Watching the Texans play, they played for the head coach, man.
Yeah, but you know what, man? I actually believe that the Texans might be the worst run organization in the NFL. It may be the worst run in professional sports. And that's saying a lot. When
the Knicks are up there. The Knicks are up there.
yeah, but they're getting it better.
They're getting better. They're getting better.
Here's a franchise that don't allow Spike Lee to come into the arena after he put on the dress up, done been cheering them for 20, 30 years almost. And like 2 years ago, they say he couldn't get inside the Madison Square Garden. You know, he couldn't.
Right.
That's a bad.
I hope Flores don't go to Houston either. Yeah, but, that's that. Yeah, but yeah, Culley. Yeah, you're right. Houston may be the worst run franchise in all of sports.
Yeah, man. I'm probably more puzzled about Houston than I am about Miami because you're right. I mean, hey, who on earth thought that they were going to win 6 games? Nobody. Who on earth, when you got Deshaun Watson, don't play a whole season, you trade away J.J. Watts. Yeah, I mean, you don't have basically no talent. What were they expecting him to do? And then they make an ultimatum, you got to get rid of your offensive coordinator. You got to make some staff changes. And this man has been an assistant coach like his whole career. Do you think that he's just going to cut a guy loose, because that guy said he has to go? And he said no.
Right.
But I don't get it, man, to be honest. I mean, he was a lifetime assistant coach. He was a lifetime assistant coach. Respected all around the league. And they played hard. They played hard from the start. They played hard till the end. And this guy get cut loose because he wouldn't get rid of assistant or a couple of assistants that they demanded that he had to fire.
Yeah, Josh Stewart said they cut Zach Cunningham too.
Yeah, Zach Cunningham, the linebacker that went to Tennessee. I mean, they were unloading talent the whole season. I mean, what was they expecting him to do? I mean, realistically.
Realistically, I don't understand. So let's see. So let's rank these real quick. So you got Vegas, you got Denver, Houston, Jacksonville, Miami, Minnesota, Chicago, and the Giants. So I would say let's go number one on this. The last job on this list, we just talked about them, the Houston Texans. So they got to be last. That's the least desired job on this list is Houston. I would say most desired job on this list, and this may surprise some people, but I think the most desired, if it is opened and the coach there they don't retain the interim coach, is the Raiders. I think the Raiders are ready now.
Yeah,
I think they're the most ready now to win now. Chicago still has a little ways to go, even with that good defense. I would put Miami right ahead of Houston because with that management, I'll put them right ahead of Houston. I will put the Giants. You know what? I'll put Jacksonville. I'll put Jacksonville after Vegas because of Trevor Lawrence. And because you already got your quarterback, you got a owner that's loyal. And as long as you don't, have controversies at the bar, flying back with the team, kicking your kicker, as long as you don't do stuff like that, I think you'll be right. So Jacksonville is an attractive job because you got your quarterback. So I'll say Vegas, Jacksonville, then I'll go Denver. Storied history. They got everything there. They just need a quarterback, and for LA to not be a Jack A, I guess. Then I will go Minnesota, Giants, and because Daniel Jones is not it. So I think the Giants got to figure it out. Minnesota got talent now. I think Minnesota can win now. I don't know if Kirk Cousins is the guy, but I think he's good enough to where you can go on a couple more playoff runs with him. So yeah, that's how I would do it. So yeah, Vegas, Jacksonville, Denver, Chicago, Minnesota, New York, Miami, and Houston.
My list a little different than yours.
It's
I
a
would
little
go with the
different.
Raiders because obviously they're in the playoffs. I don't know what they're going to do with Carr at quarterback, but they have the talent.
Raiders.
The
Yeah,
Raiders
Raiders.
in a real good situation. And to be honest, I think the Raiders ought to just go and just keep the interim head coach. I mean,
yeah.
I would say Miami is number 2. I just think that they got a lot of young talent.
Number 2. Okay.
Number 2. I might put I'll put the Jaguars 3. Trevor Lawrence.
Jaguars 3. Okay.
I think they got a lot of cap. I think if the coach influence comes in and say, man, we need to spend, even if we have to overpay, we need more veteran talent. I think the building blocks are there for Jacksonville. Not for, it'd probably be a 2-year window before they win. But I think that's a good situation. I think Denver is 4th. Minnesota is 5. I think Minnesota got good talent. I don't know about Cousins at quarterback. I don't know about that situation. But 6 would be Chicago, and 7th would be, and I don't put the Giants as much ahead of the Texans. Just the fact that they're in New York and they can.
Yeah, that's about it.
They can get a big name coach just because of New York, but they've been a bad franchise for a few seasons, and then at the bottom, as we said, is Houston.
I think you're right about the Giants. The only reason I listened besides I did because they are the New York Giants, but their record is worse than the Jaguars over the last 6 or 7 years. They're like 20-59 or something like that, man. So they're worse than us. So I would say so. But I see Flores getting one of those. I don't know which one. I think I like Chicago for Flores. I think Chicago will be a great landing spot for Flores. David Culley should get another shot because I like what I saw from him, man, especially offensively. Joe Cullen has had his ups and downs this year, but I would say he's been pretty good. He's been pretty decent. He's been up and down, but it's been pretty good seeing what he's had to work with. But both times we played the Texans, Culley had his number. He couldn't do anything with it. Out schemed him. So David Culley,
out coached, out every. I mean, Houston's only scored 30 points twice, and both of those was against the Jaguars. I wouldn't mind. I think like Minnesota to me is like a sleeping giant. I just think that Minnesota hadn't had like the right fit. I think they got the talent, they got the receiver, they got the running backs. I don't know about their defense. They got some great linebackers. I don't think the defensive front is what it used to be. And maybe that could be a spot that you never think that Flores could be. But it's a lot of talent with the Vikings, man. I think they had to get rid of. I think Zimmer was there too long. I just think that philosophy that just kind of rubbed the players the wrong way. And I think you have to have an ultimatum. I think if you spent the amount of money that they spent on Cousins at quarterback, a guaranteed deal like 3 years ago, and you're not getting the results, well, don't sit still and just say, okay, we got Cousins, and you're not winning. No matter what, if you made a mistake, then you got to fix the mistake. You don't wait 3 years to fix the mistake. You got a good. What is his name? Jefferson, the receiver that they got from.
Justin Jefferson. Yeah. They even got another one, number 17. I can't remember his name. He got dreads. I can't remember that. I think it's Allison or something like that. Dude, he looked good too, from what I had seen. So you got some guys, and Thielen. You still got Thielen.
You got, and you got
Madison.
And I think if you get a right coach who could just get that talent to get. They need like a harder guy. They need a guy that
like Flores.
Yeah,
like Flores. They need a Flores.
And I think they could be a sleeping giant, man.
I think they could be too. They were talking about the lack of black head coaches in the NFL, and one of the things that they said, and I think it has something to do with it. So, I mean, we're going to find out if it is linked because more of them are coming out now. But they say the lack of head coaches, college and pro, could be linked to the lack of black quarterbacks. You say because quarterbacks are the most likely position to go on to be head coaches than any other position in football. Quarterbacks usually end up being head coaches. So now we have more black quarterbacks seemingly every year. So if that's the case, then and eventually you should see more head coaches in the NFL and college football. It remains to be seen, but that's the theory on it. What do you think about that?
Well, my opinion is this, man. If you're gonna hire a black coach, I mean, if I was in a room with black coaches striving to be head coaches in the NFL, the first thing I would say, make sure you pick the right place. Don't just pick the place because they're offering you the job. Because if you go back in Houston, that was a no-win situation at all, and they just, Culley came in there. And it's like they just took the rug from under. I feel the NFL should do more, and I don't think they've done enough. I don't think they're serious about things that they put on their field. All these slogans and signs.
End racism, Black Lives
All
Matter.
this stuff here and this, that, the Rooney Rule. I think they got a lot of stuff that they do that don't have no substance at all. And I think that I feel that if you're qualified, man, and you've done your job, then you deserve the same promotion as anyone else. It doesn't matter about color or anything. But this league is a league about friendships and patting on the back and doing this guy coached this place, and it's about friends helping friends more than anything, And I think this league, if it's going to move forward, which they're successful, I mean, we ain't talking about this not a successful league. It's billions and billions is made by this league.
Yep.
But we are in 2022. It's time for change. We can't have just what you said, that yes, there are more black quarterbacks, but if you got assistants on the staff, if you got qualified assistants that's getting the job done, like the one in Kansas City, I'm tired of hearing, well, he may not interview well, this rumor, this, he doesn't really coach. Somebody is spreading those rumors out. It ain't the enemy.
Josh Stewart just asked, is he finally gonna get his chance? I haven't heard his name like that, like in previous years. And you talked about that. You say he's not a hot coaching candidate anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's trouble for the league. I mean, that's a black eye for the league for a guy who's been a hot commodity a year ago, and I think right now I've seen him on candidate lists for about two teams. I think the Bears and there's another one. I don't know if it was I don't know who that second team is. It might was Denver. I'm not. I think it was Denver and Chicago. I believe.
And I might have heard something about the Giants having interest in him.
Mm-hmm.
Might have heard that too. But it's sad because now that's the one thing about the Rooney Rule. I've talked about the Rooney Rule plenty of times on my show and how it's useless because what it does is it fills a quota and it actually hurts the candidate because take Eric Bieniemy now. He's had so many interviews for a head coaching spot. And now that has not gotten any, he looks like the one that's not a worthy candidate. not the teams that just interviewed him to fill the quota to interview. They had no intentions on hiring Eric Bieniemy. So if you have no intentions on hiring the guy, why even interview the guy? You're just doing it to check a box, and it's hurtful.
And that's when the commissioner and people who's the decision makers in this league has to take more of an initiative to make sure that that's not what this is all about. That if you the owner of whoever, that the only thing you doing is checking a box. You're not serious about hiring the guy. You just going through the protocol before you hire your guy. And it is. There's too many retreads in this league. There's too much buddy system. There's too many rumors that get spreaded for the only fact they get spreaded is to diminish a guy's reputation so he won't be, he won't have a chance at the job, Yeah. And just like this week, I mean, come on, man, you're gonna tell me a guy wins 8 out of the last 9 games, and you gonna tell me he's not a fit for your franchise because he's got a tiff with the quarterback? I mean, come on, man. That's like something where you put the quarterback in the room. If you the GM, you put the quarterback, you put the head coach, and you get it squared away or not. I mean, to be honest, half of that problem with Tua was with the franchise. I mean, where you think these rumors came early in the season that Miami
they wanted Deshaun.
That they wanted Deshaun? What this kid supposed to think?
Yes.
He's probably thinking like, I don't know who I can trust. These guys telling me something one day, and Flores telling me something. I'm hearing something else. Then Flores probably reassured you are a quarterback, and he goes 24 hours later and hears something else. So it's easily that relationship could have got tarnished in a whole lot of different ways, And he didn't play particularly well early in the season. And you got to call a spade a spade. The Tua didn't play great early in the season.
No, he didn't. He didn't. So
I just hate to see that you got, when one hand got to be scrutinized for relationships. He doesn't talk enough. He got to get. You got to have an ultimatum. You got to get rid of 3 assistants, or if not, you gone. And then you have the other hand, like the one in Carolina, where he can basically do whatever he wants, and he still don't win, and he still got a job.
Oh my God, Matt Rule needs to go.
Yeah, those are the things where just like the commissioner, anybody in charge in the NFL can't sit down in front of a camera, can't sit on radio and explain or justify decisions like that when one hand is different. The other hand, okay, well, we're going to be patient. We're going to see if this works. And then you got the other hand say, well, man, he can't get along with the quarterback. Oh, we got to get rid of him. And it's like, come on, man, I'm tired of 2 shades of two shades of evaluation, man. You got to, let's be a diverse country and where we like, okay, everybody is judged by the same thing,
Look at the relationship between Belichick and Brady. It's documented. That wasn't a great relationship. It was icy at best. But what they do, hey, they took a Tylenol and they shut up. They had a Coke and a smile, and they got to work together. All of these feelings, man. It's feeling, it's the way he made me feel, and it's the way he said, and openly disrespect you. Or you just don't like him for a personal reason. What is it? I'm sure Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the greatest relationship. I'm positive on that. Yeah. I'm sure because he has an issue with the franchise. So the Matt LaFleur thing, he didn't sign off on that, as they said he didn't sign off on that. So and then them drafting Jordan Love. So I'm sure it's not a great relationship in Green Bay. But what are they doing? They're making it work and they're winning and they're set up to win a Super Bowl this season.
And Brandon, look, let's go back to Miami. These guys lost to the Jaguars in London. They were absolutely horrible. I mean, that game, I think it was 23-20 or whatever it was. They lost. And I think they have lost, I don't know, at that point, they might have been on 4-game losing streak or something like that. This guy changes everything, and they win 8 out of the last 9 games. That's
Yeah.
not easy to do.
No.
That's
the
not
first
easy.
in NFL history. First time that ever happened.
Yeah, you go from being last place to playoff contender. If they would have got a little bit more help, they would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they closed out the season. They beat who? They beat the Patriots. I believe they beat the Patriots. Yeah.
Yeah, beat the Patriots. So Josh Stewart brought up a good one. He said it does look like we're seeing more potential black GM candidates. Not sure how many there are currently, though. Yeah, I have seen that, Josh Stewart. That hasn't been an encouraging sign as well. I will say that seems to have made some headway. Black guys, whether they're whether they were broadcasters or they're currently in office now, have been considered. I know Bucky Brooks was considered for the GM job here in Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. And then it's one other one. I think he was a former Jaguar as well, was considered. I can't think of that guy's name. It'll come to me. But yeah, I have seen that. But as far as these black head coaches, especially a guy like Eric Bieniemy, as a guy like Eric Bieniemy, what do you do? If you can't get a head coaching job in the NFL, hey, what do you do? If he wants to be a head coach, it may be a step down for him. It is what it is. But if a university wants to welcome me with open arms and back up the Brinks truck, I'm going to university and I'm going to give college football a try. If it don't work, I can always go back to the NFL as an OC. I'm pretty sure solidified as an offensive coordinator, and he can get another job at any time if he wants it. So I would dip my toe in college football as a head coach and see, and he'll have way more control there than he ever would at an NFL franchise.
Oh, yeah. And, he's probably just sitting back, waiting on his opportunity. He's in a good situation with Kansas City. He's learning. He's continued to put in the work. He's sharpening up his resume, so to speak. But I just feel that the guy, what more does he need to convince a franchise that his time is due?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that troubles me is that. Guy done put in all this service. They've done this. He's talked to this team. He explained this situation, explained that situation, and he's less of attraction this year than a year ago. What? Mm-hmm. Because what? They didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, I tell you what, boy. Politics and sports. That might be a future topic we need to talk about because it's a lot of politics in sports, man.
And it's
in professional sports.
In professional sports, and I will say it's on the lower levels too, man. I didn't realize how much. It's not as bad, but I didn't realize how much politicking went into it, going into it, especially when I started coaching because. I was taught that from people in football, from what level they were on, that sports was a meritocracy. Hey, the cream always rise to the top. If you're good, they'll find you. Well, that's not always the case. You got a lot of times where guys have agendas for whatever reason. Yeah. Crazy, I know, but they have agendas, and they rather see this person in this position than this person in this position. Simply because they don't like this person and they know this person. That's what's going on right now.
Well, Brandon, if you was in the NBA, I'll just go to the NBA right quick. If you average 42 points a game and grab 13 rebounds and you was a rookie, you wouldn't make the All-Star game because you're a rookie.
Wow. I didn't know that. I never knew that.
Check your list to see when the last time a rookie made the All-Star game.
Wow, I've never known that.
Rookies don't make balls. They don't. I don't care how great they are. You look. Hell, I even got to look to see if I don't even believe LeBron made the All-Star game back in 2003. Rookies don't make the All-Star.
Last NBA rookie to make All-Star.
Well, Kareem, Elgin Bell.
Let's see. NBA All-Star Games, rookie selections. So let's see. Blake Griffin went in 2011. Yeah, he was the last rookie to appear in the All-Star game. Yao Ming in 2003. Yeah. Duncan in 98. Grant Hill 95. Shaq 93. Mutombo
So
92.
LeBron didn't make it.
Robinson 90. No, LeBron didn't make it. Ewing 86. Olajuwon. Jordan. Dude, they just named straight Hall of Fame. Like, you gotta be one of the greatest to ever play the game. Because that's basically the list I just read off. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that.
I bet that the
Except
only
Blake
reason
Griffin.
like Yao Ming and somebody made it because maybe Shaq or
Yeah.
somebody said they wasn't going to play, that somebody got hurt,
Maybe.
and the commissioner invited them. But it don't happen much, man. I'm surprised by the few that you read off because I remember AD. AD was averaging like 20 points and like 8-9 rebounds, and he didn't make it.
Wow.
Politics.
No.
That's what I call it.
Politics. Yeah, it's politics. It's politics. Yeah, it goes on in football too. Same with the Pro Bowl in football. I mean, you look at a lot of times where I've seen years where guys made it off name alone. They didn't have great years. They missed games, and you clearly got a better option, but because of a name, this guy makes it. And that's how it seems to go in the NFL as well. Shoot, instead of Khan going with a candidate like Eric Bieniemy or somebody like that, what did he go for? A name. He went for Urban Meyer. He dreamt of having Urban Meyer coaching the Jaguars. He didn't dream of having Brian Flores coaching. He dreamt of Urban Meyer, a name.
Yeah. And you see where that name got him at. He's searching again, the third coach in 3 years. Man, and we'll throw skip topics, boy, but I'm getting word of that Bill O'Brien might Bill O'Brien might emerge as the next coach in Jacksonville.
Let's go into that because I was gonna go into get this NBA out the way. We'll save that for the end because we'll go ahead and talk about that and this the Klownout and wild card weekend. But Bill O'Brien may be the next head coach of the Jaguars. Oh man, I'm not, and Balky's going to be retained as well. I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's almost a given. He's sitting in on the interview, so and putting salt on a wound. Balky is well, he basically suggested that they needed to interview Bill O'Brien. So basically,
yeah, I did hear that.
Bill O'Brien is his guy. He wasn't even on the original short list.
No, he wasn't. So we're going to miss out on Byron Leftwich, Jim Caldwell, Kellen Moore, Jim Harbaugh for Bill O'Brien and Trent Baalke.
I heard Byron Leftwich had a great interview, man. He moved the needle during the interview. But the only question I think Jacksonville, do you take a chance on him? Do you take a chance on not? He's never been a head coach before. Do you take that chance after he made that silly mistake with Urban Meyer? So he's going to get maybe hurt by Urban Meyer's faults, But I really do. I feel right now at this point that race is now between Bill O'Brien, Leftwich, and Doug Peterson. And Doug has probably more leverage out of any of these 8-9 candidates because I'm almost to the point to say that he can pretty much pick, he's getting interest from a lot of teams. So he
Super Bowl winner, I figured. Yeah. Peterson was on my short list.
Yeah. Even if he was to get an offer for the Jags, I don't believe he would immediately take the job. I think he would still go through the process, and it probably would never come out in public, but he probably asked them to give me another week before I can really give you an answer. Do I want to take it? Because he'll go to that place, this place. He's a hot commodity, man. He's probably the hottest commodity out of this coaching circuit. I think that I think he's at a point right now where he can evaluate it and say what is the best fit with the most talent, basically. You know, every guy that they're speaking to, like the Nathaniel Hackett's, they don't have that option. You know?
No. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
and Doug Peterson.
Shocked.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Doug Peterson.
I wouldn't either. I mean, I think Leftwich would be a good guy for here.
Now, Leftwich is my personal favorite. So, but I don't think Peterson will be a bad guy. It's just Bill O'Brien. So this is the thing, is that because Bill O'Brien is Balky's guy, and because let's say Bill O'Brien, Leftwich, and Peterson are on equal footing in the organization's mind. The only reason that Bill O'Brien is even on the level with Peterson and Leftwich is because of Balky. If Balky is not the GM, Bill O'Brien is not even in the same room with those two and considered for this opportunity. But because it's Balky, he's considered. So now that gives him an edge. Go ahead.
But you have to – this is what bothers me about the Jaguars. It ain't always good to be different. Okay, it's right. Definitely not good to be different when you 3-14 and 1-15. The reason why I say that is there's no other team with a vacancy from these 8 teams. What is it? 8 teams? Well, 7 teams, not counting Jags with opening. He's on nobody else's list except I think with Carolina for being an offensive coordinator. That to me would be. I'll be troubled by that right there. Nobody else want the guy. You know, he's not on anybody else's short list, main list, left list, right list, next year's list. He ain't on none of those team lists, but he's at the top of the list here.
Yeah. And not to cut you off, but not to mention, he's been messing up Alabama's offense because he's been calling the offense for Alabama. Ask Alabama fans. Bill O'Brien gone. They don't want him over the offense anymore because he's made some questionable decisions. But this is very telling. And you're right. He's not considered by any of those other. He absolutely destroyed the Houston Texans. Destroyed them. He gave away DeAndre Hopkins for some Gatorade and some Pringles. Man, come on.
He almost didn't even be in it. He almost. On the mistakes that he made in Houston, he almost shouldn't even be considered for a head coaching job because he took like when you look at that trade, he was like personal, like, okay, I'm gonna get you out of here. You know, what guy does that on a personal vendetta? Well, he's going to trade the best receiver, one of the best receivers in the league, because he's mad because a guy, talk back to him, basically, Yeah. I don't want you to do this. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. And he get rid of him. That's the kind of stuff that's not.
Dude, for J.J. Watt to call him out and basically – go at him in front of his teammates in practice, in front of everybody. Then him and a contingent of players go to management and say, "Hey, this man has to go."
Yeah.
What else? What else do you need? Dude, for J.J. Watt to do that, that told me all I need to know about Bill O'Brien, because he said there's a lot of things happening in Houston where J.J. Watt has said nothing, but on this one, he made sure his voice was heard.
And you know what's troubling, man? Bill O'Brien can come to Jacksonville. Be quiet. They win 5-6 games, 2 years. Then the third year, it can just be total chaos with Balky or whoever the GM. I think he's a guy who loves power, and I think he'll fit that. I think he can stay quiet for 2 years, 3 years, and then if success happens or something after that third year, I think he's that type of guy that would cause a chaos just to get power. We know he can't be a GM.
No, not at all. Let's see. Josh Stewart says, "Oh yeah, E. Dilla on Twitter. I always hear stuff." E. Dilla was the one talked about Trevor having that issue during the Patriots week with the staff, So you say Byron Leftwich is the clear favorite. They want him. Then Mia O'Brien, TV, she said, I was told Bill O'Brien's interview went from 4 to 6 p.m. yesterday. Jaguars contingent was at the airport in the air by 6:30. Okay, so they had their meeting and they were out.
I don't read nothing on 30 minutes they left. I don't read that. They had 2 hours with them on, so
yeah,
could have got done in 2 hours. But I'm hearing too that Leftwich, he like blew him over in the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Organized, got plans, know what his plans are to turn this thing around. Say what you want, but I mean, he gained a lot coaching a guy like Tom Brady.
Yes. Yeah. That alone boosted his stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing a guy can have when you go into these interviews is to have your plan. Tell me, what would you do to turn our franchise around? How would you do things different than what Urban Meyer tried? Tell us what needs to be fixed. And if he like, I know how to do that. And why not bring the guy back, man? I heard something today. Oh yeah, well, the fans, he didn't like the fans or something when he played here. I mean, who cares?
Who cares?
20 years ago. I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
The thing about Brian Leftwich, man, I'm mispronouncing his name, but man, they say he was slow as molasses.
Yeah. Shoot, and he's in much better shape now than he ever was when he was here in Jacksonville. He ain't got that pudge, that baby pudge no more. He looked like he's been in the gym a little bit.
Man, he must was eating too much Jenkins when he was here, huh?
Hey, long as he was, I take him overeating than to be on those substances that Jaguar players used to love to be on, and everybody knows those substances.
This guy Leftwich, it's time for Jacksonville to dance in the street, man. You have a guy who can relate to the team, to players. And I think he'll be a guy that's gonna, he's gonna take everything he learned in Tampa Bay and Arizona. He's gonna put it into play here. And he's not gonna be like what people think. He's not gonna be every player's best friend.
Right.
He's gonna make some hard decisions. I just want to see a head coach come in here and understands that in order for the Jaguars to be successful, I wouldn't care if they lost 6 games by 48-46 or whatever. I just want to see the franchise bring excitement. You bring excitement, get some playmakers on offense here in Jacksonville. Get some speed on the field so you can score. I'm tired of watching field goals. I mean, you get to the 26-yard line. Here it comes, the field goal kicker coming out. So bring some excitement so if the fans have, hey, we lost, but, man, it was exciting.
Yeah, at least that. And we're on the right path. You want to see upward trajectory. You want to see little bit by little bit, increments here and there. You want to see get better and better. That's why I know the Miami fans, which I know I'm going to talk to a few of them, some of them are distraught right now, I'm sure. Because I've never heard any complaints from any fans about Brian Flores. Fans always get the tea. Whatever's going on with a team, talk to a fan, especially one that's really plugged in, and whatever's going on with the team, what's behind the scenes, where there's like little fires and there's smoke there, the fans know. And I've never heard anything bad about Bill O'Brien from any of their fans.
Yeah.
Now, Panther fans have been killing Matt Rule for the last 2 weeks. They ain't letting up. It's like he got to go. He got to go now.
He don't know what he's doing. He look like he don't know. He's looking like Urban Meyer. Don't know what he's doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Jacksonville, if they take Byron, I think that'll be really good for the city. I think so. What have you heard about Jim Harbaugh? You haven't heard anything about him and where he
Well,
may
the
be
rumor
going or what
is
he may be in?
he wants to get back in. Obviously he won't be here, but Chicago could be a possibility. That's what I'm hearing, more Chicago than anything else. But I've
I have
heard that
seen that.
he's spoken to some friends, and at this point right now, Michigan probably had the best season in like the last 20 years. They beat Ohio State, and he's still gonna be on the guillotine, man. It's like I don't know if Harbaugh can really make them a consistent winner where they've
No.
beaten Ohio State for the next 5 out of the last 6 years. So he might have just this season here is probably might be the best as is ever going to get for him at Michigan.
Yeah.
And I, you look at what he did. I mean, with San Francisco, and even some of those Michigan teams. I mean, the guy can coach. There's no doubt that he can.
He
I
can
mean,
coach.
they family coach, brother with Baltimore. Um, you know, I think the problem with Harbaugh is that it's always it's always going to be attention drawn to him.
Yeah, it is. You
You
see, any
know,
thoughts on the number one pick? Um, I'm in the mind rating it because unless Evan Neal is projected to be Jonathan Ogden, trade it.
yeah,
That's the only thing I can think of because I'm not taking a receiver there. I'm not taking Thibodeau or Hutchinson number one. So I would trade back. Hopefully, maybe a quarterback rises up the board and threaten to go number one, and teams may be interested in him. But I would definitely trade back, and then I'm going lineman. I'm going wide receiver. Those that's got to be at the top of your list. Tackle and wide receiver got to be at the top of the list. Then defensive end, DB, tight end. No, well, I would say tight end. Tight end would be after. I'll say about fourth on the list because I think you can maybe find a tight end and you could draft a tight end. So there's a couple of guys that I saw. I think Jakari sent me that we could draft. But as far as the number one pick, trade back, man. I wouldn't take anybody number one.
Yeah, I get two receivers. I use my first two picks. I get the best two receivers on the board. That's what I do. Then I would get me a tackle no later than the third round, and then I'll fill in the holes after that. I watched the kid at Michigan. Obviously,
Hutchinson.
yeah, he's a talent, but when I saw that Georgia game, man, I didn't see a guy that had to have two blockers on him. He was getting stopped by one blocker.
Yeah.
Georgia's tackle was keeping him off the quarterback.
Yeah,
And
when
I
I
haven't,
initially go ahead.
and I haven't really seen much of Thibodeau at Oregon, so I can't pass judgment. I gotta watch. They say he's the better one of the two, but I haven't really watched a lot of Oregon. But I definitely watched Hutchinson.
Yeah, I've seen some of Thibodeau, and I do see that he's better than Hutchinson. No doubt about that. I'll take him if I had to choose between the two. It's not a big gap, but there's a gap there because Thibodeau's more athletic. But Hutchinson kind of reminded me of the Bosa's, but Hutchinson doesn't have that. He doesn't have that dog that the Bosa's have. Like he has a nice motor, but you could tell he's going to be limited. Especially after watching him against Georgia and going up against elite tackles, especially elite SEC tackles. He lost something in it for me. He didn't do it for me during that game. And then I went back and looked at some of his highlights, and I said, yeah, he could dominate some of these worst tackles, but can he dominate the NFL tackles? Georgia has NFL tackles. Bama has NFL tackles. Ohio State has NFL tackles. So can you dominate those guys? And I saw a good player, but I didn't see number one overall or a Bosa.
Yeah, that's how I saw it. I say he's good talent, but I didn't see a dominating player. I think the Jaguars, if they're going to be invested in a defensive front, they need to take a look at the 49ers, man. I like that defensive front by the 49ers. They're all long. I mean, they big, they tall.
And they lost some guys. It's still good.
They all look alike. They can get pressure on the outside and get pressure up the middle. So you don't have to have, I guess the long story short, you don't have to have like one draft pick, first round pick, put all the pressure on the kid and then expect miracles when I mean, I just think they should don't even go down that road, man. We don't want Caleb Vaughn chase-ons and, in order for this team to get better, I think if you want to get talent on the defensive front, spend some of that $71 million in cap space and go get you some veterans if there's some available, and leave the youngsters and they got to fix the offense, Brandon. I mean,
yeah, that's first.
The defense wasn't great, but the defense have some pieces on there. And I think that the offense is just so much way behind what the defense is that they got to get some playmakers on this field with some speed. If I know the kid from Jameson, number 1 for Alabama, I know he, tore ACL.
It's expected to make a full recovery though, and he declared for the draft today.
If he's sitting there in the 3rd round, late 2nd or 4th, I would still grab that kid.
Yeah, I'm taking him. If I can get him, I'll take him. Yeah.
Because we don't know what they're coming. Like Lion P said, well, they're gonna get DJ Chark back next season. We don't know that.
No, we don't know. And shoot, even I tell them, you don't know what you're going to get from ETN after this injury. I mean, everybody thinks that he's just going to make this recovery. He's going to be the same. This injury is a devastating injury for running backs. So, I mean, not to speak ill on him, but you got to be realistic as well.
Well, that's the same for James Robinson. That's a serious injury to have your torn Achilles.
Yeah, same for him.
For a running back, you got to make cuts, Yeah. So I just feel, man, look, hey, I would not have a problem with the Jaguars if they use their first 3 to 4 picks on offense. I just don't want to hear no more like, okay, we like our offensive line. They good. We're gonna keep all of them. I just hope that we don't hear that no more. And give us some receivers. They need some receivers. You got to put weapons around Lawrence. Go get some receivers. If that kid is available, Jameson, get him. He's that good.
Yeah. Send me the Georgia players declaring for the draft. Yeah, Georgia about to lose a lot.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to reload for next year. But yeah, they losing a lot. A bunch of those are declaring for the draft as well, which I don't blame them. Shoot, after watching Mechie and Jameson Williams go down, if you got any bit of clout behind your name in the NFL circles and coming out in the draft, you feel like you're going to get drafted somewhere and you can't really improve on it that much. So let's say you a 3rd round grade right now. That's the grade you're getting back from most teams. And they say, well, if you go back and you may make the improve on it, you may be a 2nd rounder, maybe late 1st rounder, but there are no guarantees. I'm leaving. I'm leaving, and I'm going to take the 3rd round grade, and I'm just go have teams work out for them in person and try to, maybe boost my stock in their eyes by team to team. But going back, no, it's too risky.
Mm-hmm. But when you look at Georgia, even if you look at
Ness?
What's going on? There's no substitute for talent, man.
Yeah.
If you got your quarterback get hurt, you pull in another one just as good as the guy that got hurt. You got a defensive lineman get hurt, you can pull in another guy. You don't have no drop off. That's the philosophy the Jags got to have. We have no shortage of talent, even at quarterback. Go get the best backup you can get that's available. Don't settle, especially when you're 3-14.
Yeah. Oh, Justin Ross. I wonder what draft grade Justin Ross has. I would definitely take Justin Ross, especially if you get him in the second round. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Reunite Trevor and Justin Ross. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. So what was up with the roofclaim.com and the whole clown? Because the people showed up. People like, are they really going to show up in the clown outfits? Yes, they did. They did a clown out. They were handing out noses and wigs, and people had the outfits on, and like they were having a good old time down there, man.
Yeah, and I got a harsh message that from somebody from the Jaguars who texted me during the game. Mm-hmm. I didn't see it because it was text like right at kickoff. But say about the energy that we put in trying to promote the clown game when somebody from the Jaguars said they only spotted 6 fans, which that was a lie. And I said,
yeah, that's a lie.
Hey, I commend the fans, man. I do. I commend, that's the thing that they can do. You don't have to boycott the game and but when you go to the game, you don't like what the franchise doing, then you find ways to get your message across, especially when you got CBS cameras in the stadium. So whether it was 200, 250, 300, whatever it was, I commend those fans for doing it because CBS, CBS caught some of it. They were out in tailgate. And the message, and they got to do more of it, man. I mean, to be honest, I think the fans have to be united in a way that you have more of a unity from the fans that, hey, we're not going to sit back no more and just sit and don't say nothing and everything okay. We listen to the Basellis like everything is okay. And we still here sitting with 3 wins this year, 1 win that last year, 5 or 6 the year before that. And it's unacceptable. You, as the owner, has to make this team and put a product on the field that we can be proud of in Jacksonville. And I think, to be honest, and I've said this before, man, Trent Baalke should not be here. He should. I think if you're going to move forward, you just move forward and clean house. That's the only way I think it really can work. I don't like the fact that you basically going to hire a coach and you're going to pigeonhole him and he's going to force this head coach to work for a guy that basically shouldn't be on the job, And
a guy that you got to think about it, Mr. Reid. You retain Baalke, so let's say that this doesn't turn around in the next 2 seasons, you be firing Baalke anyway.
Yeah.
So he's delaying the inevitable is what he's really doing. Does he see Baalke being the GM for the next 10 years? I bet if you ask him straight up, he's going to say no.
Well, Shad got to understand, man. Running an NFL team is not easy. You don't make decisions out of convenience. I think I go back to Dave Caldwell after the 2019 season. I mean, that was decision based on convenience. Okay, well, we got continuity. We're gonna bring them back. When everybody in Jacksonville know that was a mistake. So he's got to invest in his franchise a little bit more than what he's doing, man. You can't make easy calls. You can't reward a guy. I was even told through the grapevine that Trent Baalke deserves an opportunity to run a franchise under his own terms because he hadn't been able to do that when he was brought in. He worked for Dave Caldwell. And then obviously for last year, even though he only lasted 13 games, that he really wasn't running things in football operation with Urban Meyer. But when you've lost like this franchise has lost, you don't want to flip a coin and hope that the guy get the job done. You want to know for sure that you got somebody in here with a philosophy that's going to work, knows what needs to get done to turn the franchise around, has a plan in place. Just like I told you, from what I heard, Byron Leftwich had a plan. He didn't just come in and say, I want the job. He came in and basically said, this is the reason you guys should hire me. This is what I would do. This is my plan to fix this. This is my plan how we're going to run this. This is how I feel that I can elevate Trevor Lawrence to the next level. That's what you need in your GM when it comes to roster construction, because that's what this is going to, in order for this to turn around, it ain't going to turn around just having a good head football coach. It's got to turn around with a GM who knows how to evaluate talent, recognize what has to get fixed, and then fix it. I don't think Trent Baalke I don't think he's in it for the long term, to be honest. I always thought when I first came and covered this team that there was two philosophies: long-term, short-term. Long-term, short-term. And they clashed all the time, and that's where we're at right now. It's like, hey, you got to build for the future, but you got to win now. And you got to have the right guy in place on that GM job, hire the right scouts, know what needs to get fixed, draft the right guys that you need, and move this thing forward. And I just hope if they do hire Leftwich, that they have, that he's not going to be undercut by somebody who don't really have the same philosophy as the head coach, which has happened here before.
It's a sticky situation because usually how it seems to go, there's other ways to do it, but how it usually seems to go is GM first, then GM hires head coach. And you hire Byron, but you have a GM. Trent Baalke is a placeholder. That's the only explanation for this. He's somebody who Shad Khan has gotten comfortable with, and this is going to be one of his downfalls, man. It's going to be one of his downfalls.
The same problem. You can't repeat the same. That's the problem I have with the Jaguars, because he was comfortable with Dave Caldwell, and he lasted 8 years. And look at it, he should have been here like 3 years after when the Blake Bortles thing didn't work. He should have been gone then. So having and that's what I'm saying. I wrote this. I say, man, this guy should go to the NFL, ask for the league to help him with a consultant who has no ties to the franchise other than knowing how to build a winning football franchise. Use this guy for decision making, not bring in a consultant and he makes final decisions, but run those decisions by him to a guy that has no bias, not trying to step up the ladder, just an outside experienced guy. Like Jimmy Johnson. I mean, somebody, that got a
Ozzie Newsome. Get Ozzie Newsome on the phone.
Ozzie would be great. Just somebody on the outside that gonna give you the right answer, not the answer that you want to hear. Not a yes sir man, but a guy that's gonna like, man, I don't agree with that. I think you're making a wrong decision, and he got 8 points that he explaining why that won't work. That's what they need. Even if they hire Baalke, I still think they should have a consultant.
Yeah,
I do.
Let's see. Nesco say it was more than 6 clowns there. I was at the game. Yeah, 6 clowns. I saw more than 6 clowns on Twitter. Hey, Josh he said I didn't see any on CBS, but saw a bit on Facebook. And let's say if they would have went to the Bud Zone, they would have thought they were at the circus. It was all clowns on it. So they clowned out the Bud Zone. That's how you do it. Yeah.
I walk around the stadium, I've seen enough clowns, even speak to a few of them. And some folks just red nose. Some came with a wig. Some just had a vest on with a red nose. Hey, it's still clowns. They still unified.
Yeah. So I still say he heard Myron was in the teal suit for the virtual interview. That's sharp as attack right there. If he was in the teal suit, that's what I'm talking about. That's dedication. How can you not hire the man? Come on.
Yeah,
Come
on, might need to get a Jacksonville group together and get the higher leverage.
Get a petition going. Yeah, higher leverage. Let's get a petition going, man. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. So let's see. Let's finish up on the NFL. I think we covered all the bases for the Jaguars, and if it was to give a Jaguars a grade, they don't even make the grading scale. Just put needs improvement. Just put needs improvement and move on. Just put needs improvement. But
man, if I had an afro, it'd all be gone. Not by Father Time, just the stress of covering a bad football team.
Oh, I'm sure, man. So essentially, what the NFL has done. Oh, speaking of which, I was going to say this earlier. So the NFL, I'm sure they're always looking for ways to improve the game, looking for things that may be superfluous, things that may not matter. It's a meaningless thing to have, something that may need to be changed. One of the things was the extra point play. The extra point play was a useless play. They was having in the game because the overwhelming majority of extra points kicked originally were made. It was rare you blocked an extra point. They moved it back 30 yards. Now it's a play that has relevance. You can't just, as soon as you see a touchdown, I'm going to make a sandwich or get some chicken wings. No, you're going to watch the extra point, make sure he's made it now. So that's the way they've improved the game. I was going to say about the Rooney Rule. Rooney Rule serves no purpose anymore. You got to take it out the game. It's hurting the game. This is actually hurting the game. That extra point play wasn't hurting the game. The Rooney Rule is hurting the game. It needs to go. It has no purpose no more.
I agree everything what you said. And stop. And another thing is NFL got to start. Stop putting up slogans, and you really don't implement them. Put it that way. You don't really implement. You're just going with the flow. Okay, we down with the cause, but there's no substance to your fight.
Right.
It's almost like, man, stop doing that. Just be the NFL. Just be the NFL back in the 80s, 90s, that you concentrate on the game. Another thing, Brandon, I don't know if I like this overtime situation. I mean, I was watching that Rams 49ers game.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't even understand, and the rule is, okay, if you kick a field goal, then the team get another possession. The team that's down get a chance to, I guess, try to kick a field goal and tie.
Right.
But if you score a touchdown, the game over. I mean, come on, man. What? I would rather them just say, look, man, we're gonna run an 8-minute clock. First one get the most points in 8-10 minutes or whatever wins. I'd rather have that. Not just, okay, you score a touchdown, the game over. But if that team go down and kick a field goal, then you get another shot to, I guess, kick another field goal to tie the game up. I don't like that rule, man. Just play 10 minutes. The best team win in 10 minutes. And if it's the playoffs, then just play till somebody score. If it's after 10 minutes, then whoever score first wins. I don't know, but I don't like the overtime.
Speaking of which, the NFL, another thing that they saw that they changed, and I think it has helped the game tremendously, is week 17. It's week 18 now. Those matchups being divisional matchups, because divisional matchups is usually it comes down to getting into the playoffs and winning the divisions. So having every team play a divisional matchup game in the last week of the season it's like having a playoffs before the playoffs. It's like the play game in March Madness. Dude, the Raiders Chargers was absolutely brilliant until Staley called the timeout. Like, what are you doing, Staley? I'm not understanding. And then people were like, well, no, one of the Zay Jones was uncovered. No, they showed you a screenshot where the corner wasn't in the frame. The corner was just 8 yards off. So it's inexplicable why he called that timeout. Raiders was like, okay, well, we're going for it. Kick the field goal, and they were going to kneel it out, and both would have went, and we won't have to look at Ben Roethlisberger try to throw the ball down the field. We could have watched Justin Herbert throwing the ball down the field.
I hear you, bro.
Dude, yeah, you seen Ben Roethlisberger. It's hard to throw the football now. You know, it never used to be hard before. It's hard for him to throw the football down the field now.
Yeah, I like to know what they're gonna do at quarterback.
Yeah, I love to know because if they know he's going, I'm on the phone with Aaron Rodgers right now. I'm talking about yesterday. I'm gonna get a tampering charge on dealing with Aaron Rodgers because as soon as I'm able to talk to him, I'm trying to find out is what situation is in Green Bay because if he goes to Pittsburgh, I say Pittsburgh is the favorite to win the Super Bowl next year.
I agree. You heard that Carson Wentz won't be guaranteed. The coach about to cut ties with Carson Wentz, man. He's not the answer.
Well, we know that. We knew that. I seen some people trying to justify it and say that he's the answer and he could be the quarterback of the future. But dog, no, I'm talking about played awful Sunday. It's inexplicable. The only thing I would justify the way he played against the Jaguars is that he said he had COVID and didn't know and he was sick. Like that's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing I can think of.
This guy been overhyped. Even when he was in Philly, he ain't changed. He was overdrafted. I mean, he's been hyped to be this. He's been hyped to be that. And whenever there's a big game, which I used to say about Georgia, he freezes up. He freezes, man. Who in the world with a playoff game on the line? Playoff berth on the line, and he played the worst game of the season. That's what you get in Carson.
Worse.
Yeah. And he did it in Philadelphia. If he wasn't hurt, then he'll screw up. So
yeah.
He might be the closest thing to Blake Bortles I ever seen.
Right. I forgot to shout out Mr. Pastor Palmer. Thank you for checking in, sir. I appreciate you for tuning in. He said Jacksonville needs a black coach. Yes, sir. Byron left with that. That's happening. And he said, preach that fake is a $3 bill. He said, how good was that bad snap play by Trevor? Oh, man, improvisational skills, man. They got that playing on the loop right now.
One of the best I've seen, man. They grab the ball, the high snap, roll out, throw off his back foot. TD.
Yeah. TD, man. And you would think, man, well, where was this all year? And blah, blah, blah. Hey, when you get somebody like Urban Meyer out the building and you're able to prepare for an opponent a second time, I expected better results than the first time.
Brandon, I think they just said on the final game, Shoddy and Bevel, we're not gonna call the game. We're gonna let you, Trevor, and the offense, y'all pick what you want, and we're gonna go from there. You guys take care of the offense for us. We're gonna kind of call plays, but we're not gonna call what you can check off whatever you want, whatever you think is the right fit. We're gonna go with what your decision is. That's what it looked like.
I hope that that's what it was, because if they took the training wheels off of him and that was the result, I mean, it's obvious what needs to happen going forward. Give the kid more control.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I would love to see that. So, but we're gonna see, because the future's bright, but Balky is dimming it for me a little bit. But card weekend coming up, it's going to be some great matchups starting tomorrow at 4:30. You got the Raiders, Bengals. So we go down the list a little bit before we get into this NBA talk, and kind of talk about the matchups and see what you're thinking about. So okay, you got the Raiders and Bengals at 4:30 Saturday, and I got the Raiders in the game. I know it's a bit of a shock to some people, but Bengals already beat them this year, of course. But I think the Raiders are in prime position right now. I think the Raiders are going to beat them.
Well, you might be right, man. I think they got defense. I like the tight end for the Raiders.
Oh yeah, Waller's a monster.
Waller. I'm not a big fan of Carr, but I mean he can deliver when the time is right. I like Cincinnati though. I don't know.
You like Cincinnati?
I like Cincinnati. Just the fact that man, they got some great receivers. I like that tight end. I like both their tight ends. I like them. They got a ground game. They haven't. I think I've heard something today that they have not won a playoff game. I believe not since like 1990 or 91 or something like that.
Yeah, 1-8 all time in the wild card round. They've lost 7 straight.
7 straight.
Yeah.
I'm a guy who likes them underdog teams. I like Cincinnati because I think Cincinnati success can be duplicated here if you do the right thing.
I think so.
You can win. I can remember when Cincinnati was 2-14-1 or something.
Yeah, and we went there and they gave us a game in Cincinnati too when they were that bad.
Yeah, and they went out and they were patient, and the Bengals are not one of the best run organizations. If you
well, yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, cheap. They don't want to come up off it.
Cheap, and you got to act a certain way. I mean, they got a whole bunch of internal strife there. But, man, just like we just said a couple of 15 minutes ago, fans want to see offense. Fans want to see excitement. Fans want to see explosive plays. And those guys went out. They've improved their offensive line. They did that. But they went out and got some, they went out and gave Burrow some weapons.
Shoot, Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, CJ Uzama. Dude, you got Joe Mixon. I mean, you have a really, really good offense. And you got some good pieces on defense. But I like the Raiders. I think the Raiders.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the Raiders, man. Yannick might have 3-4 sacks, man.
Yeah, he could. So let's see. Patriots, Bills. Okay, so Patriots, Bills. See, teams meeting in playoffs for the first time in the Super Bowl era. So they've never played each other in the playoffs. Okay, well, they're in the same division. So, but Patriots, Bills. Man, I want to go. I want to go with the Bills. I really do because I think the Bills are. I think that they have the better quarterback in Josh Allen, and I think they're very physical. Probably the best team to match up with the Patriots in the first round. This is going to be a field goal game, I'm sure. But they say the weather is going to be horrible for this game, and I think that's going to play a factor. So I'm going to go with the hoodie to beat the Bills again.
I'm going with the Bills.
Bills got the Bills.
I saw the Bills handle the Patriots like 2 weeks, or maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago at Buffalo. At Buffalo,
they did.
I think there's a personal vendetta.
Oh yeah.
I think the Bills are tired. I mean, Tom Brady used to beat him like a stepchild, even though he's not there anymore. And I just think the Bills just feel that, hey, this is our time now. We're not the second class citizen to the Patriots anymore.
Yeah.
And I like what I saw in that second game. The first game the Patriots beat them, and the Bills came back and say, you guys ain't sweeping us, man. We're going to get our offense going. And they did. And they were physical with them. And, Mac Jones is good, but he's still a rookie. And even though
he's still a
rookie plus, is going in his first play. It's a difference, man. When you're rookie, you start in your first playoff game, that level of everything goes up a notch. So do the mistakes. So
Yeah.
I think Buffalo long overdue. I don't think, like, some people got Buffalo making it to the Super Bowl. I don't
No,
make
see
it to
that.
the Super Bowl, but I think they can
Yeah.
beat. I think they can beat the Patriots. The Patriots won't score 50 points. I promise you that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a field goal game.
Yeah,
Many touchdowns will be scored in this game, especially with the weather being bad. Um, it's going to be on Josh Allen to make the plays when they need to be made, because from time to time I see him in big games. He makes mistakes. He doesn't shrink from the moment, but he'll make mistakes from time to time. Even in the Jaguars game, just inexplicable mistakes. I see him make from time to time. But as long as he doesn't make any mistakes and plays this game, Josh Allen is a baller. That mean that when you talk about a kid who I got it wrong on, which a lot of people did, and I was the only one. But I mean, I got it wrong on that kid, man. He's an absolute baller. So let's see. Eagles, Buccaneers. This is easy. You know, I got the Buccaneers. I like the Eagles story. Number one rush offense. Jalen Hurts is really good, but I don't see Brady in this train for Brady ending against Philly. I'm taking Brady. No contest. It won't be a blowout, but I think it'll be a convincing win by the Buccaneers.
yeah, I agree with you. I think it's been an amazing season for the Eagles, but now is the crunch time. I don't think that the Eagles' talent is in comparison to the Bucks' talent, and I think Tom Brady, you know, and when they can pour it on, they can pour it on, and I think they're gonna pour it on. They're playing at home. It's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be raining though, but I just don't think that the Eagles can match them offensively and match them for points offensively. You know.
Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah, that Nesco said, "Give me the Bucks by 50." They say there's no contest. Isaiah Wynn will be out for the Patriots. Isaiah Wynn is a great guard, so I don't know if
You
I
better
don't know.
change
I
your
don't know
pick,
how.
bro.
I don't know. I wouldn't say a guard isn't going to change
You
it,
talking
but
about an offensive guard?
yeah. Isaiah Wynn. I think he guard or tackle. It's one of them. But yeah, yeah, I got the Patriots. So I still got the Patriots, and I got the Bucks. So besides the Bucks, so let's see. 49ers, Cowboys. I got the 49ers. Too physical. Too physical, man. The Cowboys are nice. I wish Lisa Reed was on here. She a Cowboy fan. Cowboys, hey, great team. They 5-2 all time versus San Francisco in the postseason. I got all of that. But the 49ers are, dude, I watched them push the Rams around. And many teams don't push the Rams around, and they push the Rams around. They got a little help. They got a little help from the refs in that game. And Jalen Ramsey, that ball off his fingertips by that much. That one to Debo Samuels. His hand was, I'm talking about right there.
When he made the dive and play, and he dived for it. Yeah.
When he died for it, I mean he barely missed it, Mr. Reed. They showed the still photo of it. He almost got that ball. But 49ers over the Cowboys, too physical. The 49ers defense, that front seven for them, like you just talked about that front seven. Ferocious. Fred Warner is like the Tasmanian devil back there, man. So I like the 49ers. My only cause to pause for the 49ers. The weakest link in the 49ers chain is at the most important position on the field. I'm sorry. Garoppolo is not the guy, but he doesn't have to be all world against the Cowboys. Be a game manager. Just don't turn the ball over, because they're going to run the ball down Cowboys' throat.
Well, let's just hope that they don't go down 17-0. Don't look like they can do anything. And like they did against the Rams. I watched that game this morning, man, and it's just like that second half, boy, they poured it on. But you're right. It rests with the quarterback. Yeah. And hey, get a ball to Samuel.
Yeah.
What's the other receiver, number 11? Get him the ball. Rely on your physical defensive front. You got a great offensive line. Be physical. I like the 49ers, man. There's just something about them, man. I think they got the athleticism. They got.
You talking about Ayuk? Yeah, Brandon
Ayuk.
Ayuk.
Yeah,
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 number 11.
yeah.
And
Get him
Jennings,
the,
number 15.
and Jennings. Yeah, get
Yeah,
Jennings, Ayuk, get him the ball, protect protect the
yeah,
quarterback. But man, he's got to play, man. They're not gonna beat the Cowboys if he put the ball on the ground or throw. I mean, I saw one
yeah.
interception. I think it
Oh,
was. Well, I know Jalen had one, but I think he threw one like on their second drive. I don't know who
yeah.
he was throwing to. I have no idea who he just like he just
No
lost it up
clue.
the ball. Say I'd rather
Yeah,
not get hit, so I have to throw it downfield because
yeah,
that's what it looked like.
yeah,
But they got to come out. They got to come out swinging. They can't play like that first half against the Rams Sunday, where they just looked like they didn't know what to do. And you know
yeah.
another thing, man, San Francisco may have the best group of fans that travel. You know, those was
Oh,
real San
yeah.
Francisco fans.
Dude,
those
hey, every time they made a play, that building was loud, and they were
yeah,
at the Rams' place. Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
So,
those wasn't like LA people dressed up in 49ers suits, those and jerseys.
those San
Those
Francisco
people,
people.
those were San Francisco people who done purchased those tickets. And they were like every time, like when the Rams had the ball, it was man, they couldn't even hear their own calls in their own
Yeah,
stadium.
in their own stadium. Hey,
There's
LA
nothing
people
like
ain't worried about football.
nah, they got too many distractions, man. But you know what? I like seeing Dallas and San Francisco. It's like the throwback game, you
Like a
know, of the
throwback
80s.
game. I like it.
And I'm looking forward to
Hmm.
that matchup. You know, that's gonna
Yeah,
be a good one.
yeah, that's gonna be a good one, man. So, Steelers, Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs by 10 at least. By 10 at least. Because I don't see them dropping this game against the Steelers. And Big Ben may have something left. Whatever he got left, he's gonna expel it on the field. This is the last go round. I will say this: if somehow the Steelers end up winning the Super Bowl, I would be the first person to get on the bandwagon of sports being rigged, because there's absolutely no way the Steelers should even come close to the Super Bowl. I think this is it for them. They shouldn't have got in the first place. They should have took the tie. The Chargers should have took the tie and not called a timeout, and they would have been in. But I got the Chiefs. Mahomes and them are still hot. That defense has had a few laps, but they've been playing well, and I got the Chiefs.
Well, I got the Chiefs too, but I'm happy that Mike Tomlin got in the playoffs, man.
I am too. Yeah.
You know, it's just amazing to me, man. Look like everybody be looking
Chiefs win
for
big.
looking
No,
for the
Ness. Ness say Steelers by 6. Come on, Ness. Oh no, no.
Well, I'm glad they in the playoffs because they was like writing on the wall. Oh, Tomlin done lost the team. Oh, the Steelers this, the Steelers that. They done lost it. And they right back in the playoffs. Now, I ain't going to say that. I think they done been eliminated in the first round 3 years in a row. But to just have what they did, you know, they were some people thought like, man, they could have a losing record before it's done. But, man, he got them in the playoffs. Good deal for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he don't have to answer those questions. You know, that questions about the college jobs when they were on that bad stretch during the season. You remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm happy for the guy, man. The guy,
Yeah.
you know, the guy got
so some not so good news is Ben Roethlisberger is 3-4 all time in the wild card round, which those 4 losses tie him for the most all time in the wild card round by a quarterback.
Well, he's going through the motions, man. He will be a couple of hours before ultimate retirement. So, you know, my question is, I think we said this earlier, man. I like to know what direction they gonna go at quarterback, because that's gonna be the determining factor if they get back to the playoffs. To be honest, man, they got to get a quarterback. That backup that they got there now is not the answer. So
Mason Rudolph not the answer.
And Lord knows I don't want to see Carson Wentz go to Pittsburgh. So nope, that's not the answer.
Definitely not. Don't do it. Please don't do it. I don't know if Harris can get going. Najee has been a beast, and Ben can be checked down Charlie, the Steelers have a chance. They might have Juju too. They have a shot, but the only way the Steelers win this game is Patrick Mahomes got to catch COVID. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's no way they're beating Patrick Mahomes. It's no.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
No.
Kansas City been on the road. They don't win like 5 or 6 straight.
Yeah. So they the only one they dropped was the one in Cincinnati, and they got Cincinnati got some calls in Cincinnati. So so we'll see. But Steelers, I have zero faith in them beating. If there was another opponent, maybe. Let's see who's the other AFC opponents. Let's say if they were playing the Patriots, if they were playing the Bills, maybe the Raiders, or even maybe the Bengals, I may give them a puncher's chance in any of those games. But the Chiefs, no, not happening. Okay, last on the list, Cardinals Rams. This is the toughest one for me. Cardinals and Rams, toughest one to pick. See, the Los Angeles Rams they won 9 of the last 10 games versus Arizona. That is interesting. That's a good stat to have. And I do think that the Rams are the better team. The Cardinals are a very good team. Don't get me wrong. They're a very good team. But I think the Rams are a better team. I think that even though Matthew Stafford has never won a playoff game, going into that, I think he should have the edge over Kyler Murray going into this game. Because Kyler Murray doesn't have any experience either. So this is at least Matthew Stafford has lost playoff games. This is Kyler Murray's first playoff game. And I can see them, I know from time to time when I see Kyler Murray play, he does those same things too in big games and in crunch time where he doesn't necessarily play bad, but he makes questionable decisions,
Yeah, I say the same for Stafford on that.
Yeah, and Stafford too. Yeah, Stafford going to throw another fourth quarter INT. As a Josh Stewart say, yeah. It's I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Rams taking it. Stafford too close to retirement. He wants that playoff win. I would say that I don't think Stafford lets this playoff win slip through his hands. It's been a long time coming, and we've seen the stats on Cliff Kingsbury and his teams at the after the halfway point of the season. It's abysmal. His record starting the season and his record finishing in the season, 2 different records going back to Texas Tech. So I don't know, man. But if I had to pick, I'm going to take the Rams. I think that Rams defense is going to give Kyler Murray just enough to where that Rams offense can get by. See, Cardinals by 3. Stafford has been looking like hot garbage, forcing the ball to Odell Beckham. Yeah, he got. I forced the ball to Cup. Force the ball to Cup because Cooper Cup. That's who you need to force the ball to.
Yeah, he's good, man. But I mean, he makes a point. I mean, they gotta stop forcing passes. I mean, if you're gonna throw it to to him and then throw it long, not short. Get him the ball. And I just think they're just forcing it too much. I think one time he lined up wrong. I mean, Cooper Kupp was running a route, and they both were running in the same direction. So the Rams, I don't know, man.
And they got Cam Akers back.
Yeah. I think I don't see them losing in the first round. I don't see them going to the Super Bowl either, though. But
no D-Hop. So DeAndre Hopkins not playing? Oh, that's the Rams. Thank you for that information. I did not know that. It's definitely the Rams now.
So what's wrong with D-Hop?
I don't know. Let me look up why DeAndre Hopkins isn't playing. See, DeAndre Hopkins.
They say J.J. Watt will be back.
Yeah, now dude say Juju might be back, and I'm like, I didn't even know that Juju would be able to come back. I thought he'd be done for the year. See, DeAndre Hopkins won't return this week. See, coaching staff told him that he's ready to return from knee. Oh, he had knee surgery. He injured his knee in December 13th. Oh, yeah, so he won't back. Man, I think that solidifies it for me because now Jalen Ramsey doesn't have DeAndre Hopkins, who he plays well against, to contend with. Now, he gonna shadow AJ Green AJ Green isn't what he used to be. So,
what's your thoughts on? Are you good with a Monday night playoff game? I mean, how do you feel about that?
I saw that and I was like, "That's interesting. I've never seen that before." I think isn't this the first one? Have they ever played Monday night before?
Yeah, this is the first one.
This the first one. I don't know. So they trying something new and spreading the games out and having those games have their own day, especially having that Monday night, because all this is about making more money. I got no problem with it.
How you know that, man? Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. You already know. I know. It's about money, man. That's why we're playing 17 games now. It's about the money. It's about the money.
Man, I just wish they'd play them at early enough so I won't be asleep by the third quarter, boy. That 8:20 start, that 8:25 start, man. The game ain't over till like midnight. So.
Yeah, and and I would say the matchup that needed to go on Monday night. I think the Cardinals Rams is a great matchup. I don't think you could have went bad with it because the Steelers Chiefs that could have been Monday night. 49ers Cowboys could have been Monday night. So any of those games I would have put Monday night, but Cardinals Rams on the Monday night I think is good. And all this is money, man. That's all it is. It's money.
Well, I hope the Rams win because I wouldn't be shocked if they make some changes if they lose first or second round.
Nesco change this pick. He talking about now Rams by 14. No, we locked in. It's locked in, Ness. No, Ness is locked in. I'm sorry, Ness.
Yeah, man.
Ness bet on red. What Wesley Snipes told you, Ness? Always bet on black. You bet on red, Ness. You got to bet on black.
That's like going to Vegas, man. The dice already rolling. You're changing your pick, man.
Nah, dog. It's over. It is over. And the Warriors are blowing the Bulls out right now, 78-47. They taking this going to be back-to-back huge L's because they got blew out by the Nets, and now they getting blown out by the Warriors.
Shit, they tired. They trying to get to that damn. They trying to get to the All-Star game break.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
I see.
They better not play Memphis. That's all I gotta say, boy. Memphis.
Memphis is dog. And that's what he was. Ja Morant. Do you think the New Orleans Pelicans are rethinking that pick now?
Yeah.
Because Kendrick Perkins talked about it when they picked Zion. He said they should have picked Ja Morant, and he's not letting anybody forget what he said that they should have picked Ja Morant.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, they done won like 12 in a row. They beat they put a whipping on the Warriors, man. They was out warring the Warriors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Their ball movement was better than the Warriors in that game. And they were getting shots in transition. They were defending. I mean, I like those Memphis Grizzlies, man. And John Morant, real stud.
Yeah, he is.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
He better be making to the All-Star, too.
Is he going to be tough for St. Louis, Arizona winner having to play on a short week? It's one day. It's one day. I don't. St. Louis, Arizona. He did put St. Louis. You mean LA? But I knew who you was talking about, Josh. Hey, that's like me last week when I was like playoffs and we were talking about Dan Reeves, and that's Jim Moore. So yeah. So no, we got you. But I don't think that one day. I don't know if that'll make a huge difference. Like it'll be different if they had to play on Thursday night or something like that, and then have to turn around and play again in a couple of days. But one day. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll be sitting pretty. Only big game on that night.
Yeah,
they better come out playing, man. And, Jalen, man, you can't get beat on that. You can't come inside on Samuels, man. You gotta go. You gotta take them deep. You can't cheat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but he had a nice pick. So he had a pick. Second quarter there. Flipped it up. Caught it in the end zone.
He was there for both. He made the first play and he missed the second play. I mean, it's a game. That's why it's a game of inches.
Yeah, he missed that second play.
Yeah,
I mean that's like 43-yard miss.
And see, what's up, fellas? John Morant is reminding me these teams why they should pick him. Now they wish they should pick him. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Kassan. What's up, man? Hey, did you get your money from Nesco? did you get your money from Nesco? That's what we need now. Nesco, did you pay up? Let's see. Yeah, LA, not St. Louis. What does Cam Reddish do the New York Knicks? Cam Reddish, I haven't watched much of the Knicks. I know Julius Randle has had a bit of a slump this year, and they've been talking trash about him. I don't know how he's performing now, but I know earlier in the year he was going through a slump. But the Knicks, I don't know, man. I know Chicago is the one that has really shocked me in the East. I didn't think Chicago would be this good. I knew they had improved because I think Lonzo Ball is a great young player. He's really developed and coming to his own, man. We talking about a kid who really has put in the work, and it's showing. It's showing. He's put in the work. We looking at you, Ben Simmons. You put in the work, things change.
Man, what's Ben doing, man? Is he still home?
Dude, they just, and I was about to bring that up. They jet with him and said he's pretty much dead set. It's just like Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has told the Houston Texans today, I'm not playing for y'all. John McClain said, hey, it's been the same thing for 10 months. He's not playing. And Ben Simmons saying it's been the same thing since the season started. I'm not playing. He's not playing. So I don't know what he's going to do. And they say they're looking for trades, but talking about packaging Tobias Harris in the trade as well. I'm like, man, I don't know. You might need to unload one piece at a time because I don't know any team that want to take both of those guys.
Yeah, what are they going to get in return? Why would you want to give up Harris?
Yeah, I don't know. What are you getting in return for Harris? I didn't understand that one. But I understand the Ben one, but I didn't understand Harris.
So Doc running the show too. It sounds like Doc back being a GM or something. Man, I saw Austin Rivers, his son. Austin Rivers starting for Denver, man, but I swear he might be the slowest guy in the league, man. Yeah, man. Austin Rivers slow, man. He don't run like a brother, man.
He's low on foot speed.
Yeah, boy,
he's a shooter though.
Man, reaction time, you get a loose ball, the ball get knocked out, he go try to get it. It'd be 4 players of 6'11, 6'9, 6'6, 6'12. They all go beat him to the getting the ball, man. I think, golly, man.
Golly.
Smallest guy, a guard, can't outrun centers, man.
Can't outrun bigs. Wow. Yeah. I've never seen that. Yeah, I've never seen that. So, man, let's talk about Mr. Kyrie Irving and how initially they thought Kyrie would play and they were going to pay those fines, but I saw where the NBA say, not so fast. So it says NBA won't allow Nets to pay fines for Kyrie Irving to play in home games. Say much has been made this week of a possible loophole that the Brooklyn could exploit to get Kyrie Irving to play in home games. It turns out the NBA would just reject it like Mutombo if Nets even tried it. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski clarified Thursday the NBA stance on teams hypothetically paying a fine in order for an unvaccinated player to play in the market where local ordinances would otherwise forbid them from doing so. And league memo sent to teams on September 1st before the season began says that teams must obey local laws and players who do not comply will not be able to play, Wojnarowski says. Another reporter noted this week that the New York order preventing the unvaccinated Irving from playing at the Barclays Center actually contains this loophole. The Nets could theoretically get Irving to play at home by simply paying a fine every time, which will not add up to all that much for them. Wojnarowski clarification, which was made in response to this suggestion, means that we can effectively put the kibosh on the whole idea. However, the 7-time All-Star Irving is officially back with the Nets as a part-time player, appealing only in away games for teams. But that setup may not be feasible for long, especially if Brooklyn makes it to the playoffs. Still, it appears the Nets are having zero way around it until Irving decides to get vaccinated. So I think that's enough for that one. This right here, this is what this tells me. This just tells me that After seeing Kyrie Irving, the shape he kept himself in, the way he's played since he's been back, and the chemistry that they have, the Nets see it. Kyrie Irving needs to be a part of the team in order for him to win the championship. And you're not going to win it without him. And they're trying every little thing to work around this, short of him getting vaccinated. The fact that this even was brought up, somebody thought of it. I'm sure once he got in the building, they saw what it was and how he's played since he's been back. They're like, well, what can we do? And they investigated it, put it out there. The NBA say, no, you can't do that. You got to adhere to local policies and whatnot. But this just speaks a lot to Kyrie Irving and his talent, because as we know, even the guys as talented as Antonio Brown, one of the best receivers in the league, after a while, once the baggage outweighs the talent, it's pretty much over for you. But Kyrie Irving is still a very good basketball player, and they're going to make they try to make different things for him. What was the word I'm looking for? Conveniences. They try to make it convenient for him to play, even though he's not abiding by the local ordinance.
Yes, sir. The NBA is a business. They don't want to have to explain that one. Oh man, how can you have a guy unvaccinated and you guys paying the fine and he's not going through the protocol? That's not a good optic for the league. So that's why they shut that down. You don't want to have the commissioner go on CNN and explain that one. But as you read it, that $5,000 to pay a fine for each game, that would be nothing for the Nets, But
yeah,
I like the Nets though. I mean, they played well this week, but we done went from the Nets saying that Kyrie would never be a part-time player with them to
that's what they said,
a part-time player. So
yep.
I like to see how things go after the All-Star game, because after the All-Star break, they might have a couple of those Nets players convince them to go get the shot. Who knows?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Especially between now and playoff time. But the Nets, boy, they gave a Chicago Bull team a whipping.
Yeah, they did. And so Cam Reddish got traded to the Knicks along with Solomon Hill. It sent Kevin Knox.
Yeah,
Solomon Hill. That's why I brought it up. I remember you talking about Solomon Hill. Say in exchange for Cam Reddish, Solomon Hill, and a future second-round pick, Kevin Knox goes to. They sent Kevin Knox and the Charlotte Hornets 22 first-round pick to Atlanta. Okay, that could be starting something good for the Knicks. I mean, it's Thibodeau the guy though.
Hmm.
That's New York coach, right?
Yeah, Coach Tim.
Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Thibodeau. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Thibodeau the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach Tibbs, boy, he could be coaching for 14 hours after the game, boy. He might call players after the game, man. He'd be so in tune.
Okay,
he's got a reputation of wearing out players. 3 hours.
Yeah, I have heard that.
3-hour practices. Coach, he makes every call on the floor. I don't know, man. He wore out his welcome in Chicago.
Yeah. Let's say he made his decision. The NBA made theirs. It's like even to me. He is a great player and a loose cannon. Let's not forget his foolishness before this COVID stuff. Yeah. I mean, he had the disappearances, the absences, supposedly isolating himself from teammates in Cleveland when he was in Cleveland. The issues that he had with the Boston Celtics is well documented, and to which he understood, which he apologized to LeBron James supposedly while he was in Boston, because he got a glimpse of what he was like to deal with when he was in Cleveland and what LeBron had to deal with. So, but overall, I think he's a much more mature player than he was then. I'm not going to hold that against him. And as far as him taking the time off, I mean, that's between him and the team. I mean, they don't think that he's a loose cannon enough to where they can't rely on him and think that and get to a championship without him. I mean, but if we're being honest, though, that doesn't matter because they have no choice. You have no choice right now. You know, as Rick Pitino used to say, Kevin McHale is not walking through that door. He's not. And if they do walk through the door, they're going to be old and gray. There's nobody coming to save the Nets. So Kyrie is your best option. So they got to make it work.
Yeah, they got to beat Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
They got to beat Philly.
Yeah, Chicago.
Chicago. I think they understand how tough it is. It's going to be to make it through the East. You know, it's going to be tough. Even if he was full time, if Irving was full time, it's still going to not be an easy road for him. But you know, the Nets are the Nets, man. I watch Milwaukee. I still think Milwaukee the team to beat in the East, man.
Yeah, I think so too. I watched them the other night, and I don't know how you're going to stop Giannis, man.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I was watching Giannis. I forgot who they were playing, man, but I'm like, there's nobody that can guard that. Nobody in the league can guard that. When he's on, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I think so. I think they're going to be the team to beat. Oh, see, this is terrible. I'm like Terrell Owens on this one. You say Kyrie is the Antonio Brown of the NBA. No, Kyrie is not the Antonio Brown in the NBA. Somebody tried to compare T.O. and Antonio Brown, and T.O. was like, well, respectfully and respectfully, there's no comparison. It's not. It's not even close. As a player and as a person, the similarities between the two, no. T.O. number one has never quit on this team. Yeah, I don't care about the antics in the locker room stuff and throw me the ball and I love me some me and get your popcorn ready. 150 touchdowns.
Don't forget about my quarterback in the T's.
Oh, that's my quarterback. It's not fair. Yeah, T.O. may be a lot of things, man, but Antonio Brown, him being Antonio Brown was not a good comparison. And the same with Kyrie. Kyrie's never quit on this team. And Kyrie doesn't have those antics. Like, he's not showing up on the sideline of a game in the fur coat and getting asked by Mike Tomlin to lead the sideline. He didn't call out the GM and the head coach in practice and get released by the Raiders because he didn't want to be there no more. You know, and then look at what he's done in Tampa now. No. Kyrie has had his issues, but I wouldn't call him the Antonio Brown of the NBA, man.
Yeah, that's a bad label. You don't want to be called that.
No, not that. I would say that the closest thing to Antonio Brown that you may have in the league, and this may not be a great comparison, but I would say the closest as far as, and it's only because of his stuff on the court and some things he says, but it's not necessarily his answers off the court. It's how he's perceived, and that's Draymond Green. Other than that, I don't see anybody having that type of reputation. And Draymond is not that bad. It's just, it's Draymond. People just, it's Draymond. It's just what it is.
Well, I didn't know Indiana had Steven. Remember Stevenson? I mean, he's New York.
Oh, Lance Stevenson. Yeah, he won too. He's one too.
He might be the closest to Antonio Brown. Lance Stevenson.
You see, there's a player on the team. There's a player on a team. Some teams needs an Antonio Mason or Charles Oakley, player willing to take them hard fouls and play hard defense on Giannis. I mean, but you don't have that anymore, Kassan. I mean, those guys ain't. Those guys walking through the door. Charles Oakley ain't walking through the door. I mean, it's just Anthony Mason. You talking about Anthony Mason? Mason is not walking through that door, and if they do, they're going to be old and gray. There's nobody in the league equipped to handle this right now. There's nothing you can do about it.
Man, if that Knick team would walk through the door, they'd be with 6 fouls in the first 6 minutes.
Oh man,
they'd be like the bad boys, man. It'd be ain't no more bad boys in the NFL in NBA, man. So hey, everything is a foul.
Yeah, dude. As soon as Giannis get into the painted area, you're gonna hear a whistle blow because they're gonna have to foul him. Yep. They're gonna have to foul him every single time. He's too athletic. I've seen it, and they tried everything, Mr. Reid. Teams have tried everything. They tried to put a wall and to deny him the paint, and that didn't work. And then it was like, well, let's turn him into a scorer. He scored 50. So I mean, it's not something that you can contend with right now. He got the secret sauce, and as long as his teammates can continue to step up in key moments, I don't see you beating them. I don't. Yeah. Especially you got one of the best defense, the wing defender in the entire league, and Drew Holiday.
So you got them repeating?
Got them repeating. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I got them repeating. I do have them going up against Brooklyn again, and I got that going 7 games. I think them going up against Brooklyn again, and it's going to go seven games, and it's probably going to be to get to the finals. They're going to meet them in the Eastern Conference Finals. And if I had to choose a winner between Brooklyn and the 7-game series between them and Milwaukee right now, with everybody healthy, I'm taking Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Because remember now, if Kevin Durant wore a size 13 instead of a 15, they would have beat him because his foot was on the line when he hit the 3. When he tried to hit the 3.
Well, it wouldn't be a show if I don't get in one of my Magic shots, man. You know the Magic still don't have 10 wins, man.
Oh man, you be killing the Magic, man.
Season 3/4 over, man. They still ain't got number 10 yet, man.
What are we gonna do about the Magic, man? They worse than the Jaguars.
They won't get my driving time or my money.
Right. Hey, I told you. I said I want to see. I want to go see LaMelo Ball. I want to see Trae Young, and I want to see LeBron play next year. And I'm going to go do that. And I was like, maybe I'll go to Atlanta and watch LaMelo. We had a Hornets come to Atlanta. And you talking about what about the Magic? Why you want to go see the Magic? What's about the Magic? Nobody want to go see the Magic.
Man, we can get us a group of 5. And we can play for 3 months, and we can get 10. We can get 10 wins, man. We can get a couple of fellas, man, from around the city, man, and we can put 5 or 6 of us together. We can get 10 wins, man, especially on back-to-back night. They may be the worst. It may be the worst team in the last 4 years, man.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Nets still don't play good enough defense. Yeah, that is one of their issues. They still need to play some defense, man. That's why the Ben Simmons made sense for them because they didn't need Ben Simmons to shoot. You know, they just needed him to defend and be a distributor. You know, anything you got out of him other than being a distributor and being a defender was icing on the cake.
Man, you know, it's starting to look like Ben gonna be sitting at home the whole season, man.
He said, "Hey, Kassan Carter say, put me in, coach. $500K a year, first round, we win." The Lakers. The Lakers will be in Orlando next Friday. That's interesting. I wonder how much those tickets are.
Man, you can probably get them up $10 bad as that team.
Let's see. What's up, Troy Davis? I haven't heard from you in a minute. What's going on, man? Good to hear from you. Glad you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. They say 2 in, y'all probably done talking football. Yeah, we done talking football. Say, but who was our first pick? Oh, we talked about trading the first round
pick. Trading
down. Don't take any of those guys at the top.
I like that kid from Alabama though. that tackle.
Yeah. I do like Evan Neal. I like Jamison Williams. I like Olave from Ohio State. But I think you could trade down and get any of those guys, target those guys and get any of those guys. So, but taking anybody number 1 outside of a quarterback, if you're going to take Evan Neal, he need to be Jonathan Ogden or Orlando Pace. You know, if you're going to take Thibodeau, he need to be projected to be the next Bosa. Same with Aiden Hutchinson. And none of them project to be those things. So I wouldn't take any of them at number 1. But wide receiver and tackle is on the top of the list for sure.
I would say the Jags got to make a trade, man.
Make a trade, yeah.
They gotta trade one of them frontline players. They might have to trade like Miles Jack. Well, you can't trade DJ because his contract up, but maybe Marvin Jones. They gotta get some more talent, you know.
Yeah, receiver. Yeah, Troy Davis. That's you got to get talent to come in.
Yeah.
Hold on, look at Nesco talking about do like they did with Jordan, let him score, but lock down others to low points. Giannis is awful in the playoffs at the foul line, hacking. And see, that's the thing. Shaq was awful at the foul line. That's your only defense, Ness. That lets you know how dominant that kid is that you got to hope he's bad at the free throw line. And trust me, I've seen him go 17 of 18 from the free throw line. So that depending on that, it's whatever game it is. It's not he could maybe be in the slump, but he busted out of his slump in the finals. And that last game to close it out, he went 15 of 16 or something crazy like that. So that ain't it, Ness. Trust me, that ain't it. That ain't gonna get you your desired result.
Jan is here to stay, man. He gonna win a couple of championships, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They even got the kid from Jacksonville on the team, man. The kid from Providence. The Bucks.
Oh, what's the kid's name?
Yeah, he was at Memphis last year, but he was knocking down some shots the other night. Went to Duke.
Oh, I'm in the name.
Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen. There you go. I forgot Grayson. I forgot Grayson Allen was there. Okay. Yeah, and Chris Middleton is the one I couldn't remember. Dude, yeah, you turn 8. Chris Middleton dropped 30 on your head any given time, man. So y'all, you got to respect it. You see, not in 6 or 7 game series. It worked with Shaq. I mean, but Shaq got 4 championships. So how well did it work? And I understand, he had Kobe and he had Dwayne Wade, but Giannis has Chris Middleton. He has Drew Holiday. They got a nice cast around him. So and then look at the teams you're talking about, Ness. Can Chicago beat them right now in the 7-game series? I don't think so. And you just said Brooklyn don't play enough defense. So who's going to beat them, Ness?
Watch out for the Miami Heat. Watch out for the Heat.
Oh, the Heat, yeah. He said, have y'all talked about where college is now the AAA of football? I mean, it's always been that. That's what it's been. College has always been a farming system for the NFL. They've been a free farming league as well. But even though it's free, they get pub off of being attached to the NFL because that's where their kids go. So it's kind of hand in hand. But yeah, they've always been the AAA of football. But I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to have a league in between, because it's a lot of guys. The league is big, but it's a lot of guys who play who are not on NFL rosters during the season. And there's a lot of guys got to play this year due to COVID who normally wouldn't have been able to play because so many guys were out. And that's where they're trying to get another league where, you had the XFL, the USFL, and stuff like that. Kind of where those guys who can play, and then if they get called up by an NFL team, they can go. It's just that ownership of the league and how they run it has been piss poor. I mean, it seems like they can't get a group together with the same mindset. Like the USFL had a little stretch, but the guy who had all the money and most of the money invested in it pulled out of it, and so it went defunct. So I don't know if they'll ever be able to get a true A league for the NFL, but they're trying. They're trying to bring back another league now. I saw because the Rock is a part of it. You heard about that one?
Oh yeah. I think they got like a network. I believe they got I don't know, TBS or somebody signed a contract. I don't know, man. Those leagues have not worked, man. They haven't worked. The spring football has not worked. I mean, you go back to the old USFL days, people did go out because they hired the top guys from the league. I just think that people don't want to, if you ain't on the front line, it's hard to watch a league that's not not known for having the best players in the world. Your team, they got, guys who may not have been drafted, got cut out of training camp, even for tickets that's reasonable. It might be hard to watch that,
Yeah. You saying how long is it until a true Power 5? What you mean by that comment, Troy? Until what? Power 5? I know you're talking about the Power 5 conferences, but what you talking about with that? But well, as far as the NBA is concerned, I like the Bucks. But in the West, though, the West is muddy because Phoenix is really good. The Warriors, Klay Thompson looked back like he never left. He's looking good again. So that's going to be interesting coming down the stretch. The Lakers have a Russell Westbrook problem on their hands, and there's nothing they can do about it right now. Like it's nothing. It's getting to the point where Mr. Reid that they're going to have to bench him in crunch time because he's shooting like 30%.
Yeah, he's a little too volatile, man. Shooting slump, turning over the ball. I don't know, man. The Lakers got a lot of roster issues.
Yeah, they do.
It's gonna be hard for them to match up against the Warriors and Phoenix, and even Denver. Man, they gonna have a problem with Denver if they get matched up with them. And where you see them, I think they're probably. I could see them being a 6 seed, maybe 7.
Yeah,
I don't think
6 or 7. It's where they're hovering right now. 6 or 7.
I don't think they're going to be a top 4 seed.
No, even without Anthony Davis, they've been able to survive. But it's been because LeBron has played center, and he's playing heavy minutes. It's not going to bode well for towards the end of the season. Putting those miles on his body, even though he has no issue with it. He's 37, and he's missed just as many games in the last 4 seasons as he had his first because this is 18th year, so his first 14 years. He missed, I think, like 50-something games his first 14 years. He's missed 50-something games the last 4. So him logging those minutes on the body, they got some, and they're not all old because Malik Monk can play. Taylor Horton Tucker from time to time, he's so volatile too, but the guy can play. Avery Bradley looks like he can still play. He still looks good. Carmelo's became a deadly 3-point shooter now. But I don't see them. The only thing can save this is Anthony Davis. And we kind of know what that movie is right now. I don't know if he's lost his mojo. I don't know if he need to talk. I don't know if they need to put some gunpowder in his food or something, because they say they put gunpowder when you want to fight dogs, put gunpowder in their food to make them tough and all of that. Maybe they need to try that or something, because I don't know what's going on with Anthony Davis.
And one more thing, don't forget Memphis in the West. I mean, I would right now put them behind Phoenix. To be honest, I would put them behind the Warriors, Phoenix, and then Memphis. I think Memphis right now ahead of Denver. I see that too. I pretty much agree with that. Okay, so now I get what Troy Davis was talking about. He's talking about basically the arms race in college football, and we'll end it with this. We're going after we're done with this, we're gonna cut out. But let's see, college with teams fighting to get in the SEC and other conferences have to get together, and eventually small conferences will be D2 like. That's coming. Mm-hmm.
That's coming. Yeah, that's coming.
What is the Conference USA?
Conference USA, Mountain West, the MAC.
Yeah,
all those smaller conferences. Yeah, because now with Texas and Oklahoma, pretty much the SEC has drawn the line in the sand. Basically, the SEC has started. They started the arms race. They fired the first shot. Now the Big Ten and the Pac-12. Big 12, they are all scrambling right now to try to figure out what they're going to do. So now those smaller conferences are going to get poached.
Yeah. Go ahead. There's, I say this for the SEC. They got some bad things, man, like the Vanderbilts and things like that. But in that bowl, in the semifinals, man, there was a big difference between Michigan and Georgia.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. It was a big difference.
I expected the difference between Bama and Cincinnati. Dude, just watching Bama, Cincinnati, just the difference in the players. You showed the lines, and all the Alabama linemen, they were either tall and lanky and real fast coming around the edge, or if they were in the middle, they were Coke machines with legs. That's what they were.
Yeah, but Michigan is supposed to have been the class of the Big Ten, man, and they had no speed. They got beat down in the trenches.
Yeah.
And they had their offense. And now this Aiden Hutchinson's supposed to be the projected number 1 overall pick, but he couldn't even get off a single block. He wasn't double teamed at all in the game.
Yeah.
So say what you want to say, man. The SEC got that talent, man.
Yeah. Shoot, and only teams that really can't contend is like an Ohio State. I think is the class of the Big Ten, even though they lost.
Yeah, they got
their talent. They got talent out the wazoo. You're down with your top two or three receivers. You have Marvin Harrison Jr. Shout out to Marvin Harrison Jr., man. His first game, basically, and he caught 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah,
man, amazing. So they have the talent, but it is smaller conferences now are going to be. I don't know what the design is going to be, but I can see some of the smaller conferences maybe merging.
Yeah, I think that probably served. And we're getting to the point now where the big money schools can have these guys getting $1 million endorsement deals. The smaller schools can't keep up with that. Louisiana Lafayette's and Liberty colleges, I mean, they can't keep up with that kind of stuff, man. You give a kid $1 million on the
before he throw a pass, before they even get on the field, they getting $1 million deal.
But I like, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, man. But I like the fact what Jackson State and Dion doing. I mean, they feel they can compete with the big boys, so to speak. Some kids might want something different, in this day and age that, all they want is to get what's the best way you can help me make it to the NFL,
Yeah. Surprised, but disappointed, but not surprised is the backlash that Dion has gotten over flipping that kid from Florida State, just from Florida State people. And some of the things that the way they went about it, like, hey, it's fair game. It's Deion Sanders. It is what it is. And then the national media basically coming down on the kid for his choice to go to Jackson State and saying that Jackson State has nothing to offer him and he shouldn't have went there. And he made a horrible decision. And I'm like, wow. I mean, what are we doing here? Is this what we're doing?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just the world we live in, and if it ain't right, this kid can always go in a transfer portal, just like if he was at Florida or Central Florida and it didn't work right, he has every option, just like he would be anywhere else. If he doesn't like it, he can go to another school. But just to throw shade on HBCU who's doing things different, and who's to say that Jackson State is not drawing as many fans as some of the bigger schools are. I mean, they got a big 60,000 seat stadium, and this kid saw something where he wanted to break the tradition. Everybody don't follow the norm. He's a 5-star. He went there, and you can't sling shade on a guy who hadn't even played the first game yet. That's what he wanted to do. He's 17-year-old kid, and he made his own decision. People shouldn't tarnish and throw the wall. Oh, yeah, he's going to make a mistake because he didn't go to Florida State. Well, last time I checked Florida State, they ain't been winning a whole lot.
No, they haven't. And they the same path he's taking, him going to the NFL, this doesn't change him choosing Jackson State.
Oh, yeah.
If he's on track to go to the NFL, he's going to continue to be on the track to go to the NFL. Just Dion alone brings something that no other HBCU has. It's outside of someone like Tennessee State that has Eddie George. But even then, it's still Deion Sanders, man.
Yeah, man. Walter Payton went to Jackson State. I don't think anybody say that he made a mistake.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So we can end it right there. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will be back next week. We'll talk about this wild card weekend and see what's going to happen with this coaching carousel and see what the NFL is going to do with this. Because now a lot of people have been vocal about the lack of opportunity for black coaches to be NFL head coaches. And the league has rabbit ears. They may act like they don't, but they do.
Yeah. They got to get it together though, Brandon. You got to be diverse. You got to serve all people, and you got to give more opportunities to deserving black coaches to give them a fair shot. When we discussed this early on the show, man, I think both those coaches didn't get a fair shot. Culley, and Brian.
Or Flores.
Flores. They didn't get a fair shot, man, and that's not fair.
Yeah. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. So, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on all my social media. See me, subscribe, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you follow Mr. Reid on Twitter, Jacksonville.com, Florida Times-Union. We will be back next week with more breakdown wild card weekend, some more NBA, and just news and notes around all of the league. And until next time, y'all, we will talk to y'all later. But we are out of here, man. Peace.